At last, the planets have aligned, and on the horizon, a new opportunity approaches. Prepare to make space. The cosmos is expanding.
And with that, buenos dias, lazy morning. Also, G-Move, big day today for the movement community, which is also part of Cosmos, and tomorrow for the entire Cosmos ecosystem. As I said, this is probably going to be the most impactful week for the interchain, aka the Cosmos ecosystem, but also we're going to enter phase 2 tomorrow of our mission to make Atom great again. Atom itself had a bit of a rally on its own when it went from $3.90 to above $10. I think $10.60 was the peak last week. Now it's consolidating at around $9.50. The star of today, however, is of course Movement. The Move token has launched as an ERC20 token on Ethereum. The Movement mainnet itself is not live yet. Movement is going to be a brand new chain basically that uses Celestia for data availability, that implements the Move virtual machine, which is the same framework that also Aptos and Sui have deployed. But first things first, big congratulations to Rushi, an absolute legend. In my personal opinion, I've said this like a year ago, Rushi has main character potential for this cycle. I think Rushi, just for the way he is, the way he writes, the way he acts also as a kind of thought leader in the space, very humble, super deep knowledge about our industry, about Move, and just a guy that is really synergizing with other ecosystems and even projects that on paper are actually competitors, right? But he has this ability to also just be very kind of connecting, a connecting link between different chains and ecosystems. The Move token launched with a bang, total supply 10 billion coins. The current price of 66 cents implies a $6.8 billion FTV and a current market cap of 1.5, which ranks it at around page 1. It actually was in the top 80 briefly and now just dropped out. So yeah, Movement hovering around rank 100. Big milestone achievements for Rushi, Cooper, and the entire Movement team. I know they've been hustling relentlessly. And if you are an avid C2 subscriber and C2 viewer, then you know this interview that I did with Rushi here at the C2 HQ over a year ago. High alpha content right there. And in that interview, which I have to change the title of that video, by the way, because I think back then Movement was really a keyword that had a lot of search volume on YouTube, but now it does. So I'm gonna change that. But in that video, we also talked a lot about Celestia and also about the Celestia community, about rolling out the Move token. And right now, obviously, we're all a little bit disappointed that we have not received an airdrop, at least in the first wave of the Move drop campaign, which is now claimable. However, there is apparently plans for not only TIA stakers, but also for Sloth holders, Celestine Sloth holders, which, remember, for staking Atom, we got TIA airdropped, and for holding and staking TIA, we got a whitelist for 1 TIA to mint a Sloth. So for everyone who's been doing that and who was an OG Atom staker and through TIA got to Sloth, is also going to be eligible for the Move drop. However, as it's explained here in Discord, they're not part of the initial Move drop. But yeah, just stay lazy, I guess. Stay lazy and wait for the Movement mainnet. There's going to be another airdrop for the Movement mainnet. And obviously, I would love for the TIA community also to receive that airdrop, aka TIA stakers. I think they also mentioned that today, that there's something planned in the future for the Movement mainnet, for the Celestia community and the Sloth community. So that's all the information that I personally have. Obviously, I'm just a messenger. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm just sharing the information that I have. But nonetheless, with or without airdrop, Rushi, absolute legend, super young, super smart guy, cosmonaut. In fact, Movement is also a Cosmos chain, basically a Cosmos project in that sense, fully IBC enabled, and is bringing the Move VM to the modular and interoperable world, which is very exciting. And we can be very proud to have him building in our ecosystem and the entire Move team, right? We also talked about their round. I always kept you posted. I'm also personally an investor into Movement. Now, I've been saying for the entire year that Movement is going to be one of the most highly anticipated and one of the biggest and most impactful launches when this thing goes live. Not only are we right now, as I'm recording, hovering at around actually $7 billion FDV, but also the Move token got listed on basically every single exchange. It's on Binance, it's on Coinbase, Bybit, OKX, even in on BitHub and Upbit. Upbit being the largest exchange in South Korea. And I actually think being listed on Upbit is probably the most underrated exchange listing there is, because Korean traders are just crazy. Like they're just buying and max bidding on new exchange listings. So I think actually Upbit listings are the new Binance listings. Now the move drop claim window is now open. If you were engaged on the testnet or just on social media, tweeting Gmove or the like, then you are getting a move airdrop, the first one. And then, like I said, stay lazy, there's more to come. Now, switching gears to Hydro. Hydro just expanded or opened up their round 2 caps. And those caps have been filled pretty much instantaneously. Like I literally tried to get in. I was on a call, so I was like a few minutes late when it opened and I couldn't get in. It was just filled up immediately. It is very, very tight though. I mean, they just increased the cap from 20,000 atoms to 30,000, which is an increase of pretty much 100,000 USD. So that was filled out immediately. But that's also why it's still a pilot round, right? It's still in its infancy, very early stages, still a lot of small bugs here and there, a lot of things that are not 100% sorted out yet. But this round 2, I think, is going to be very interesting because now we also have Stride joining the arena and also Mars Protocol. So we're getting more and more projects. It's getting cozier. The APR is also getting higher. Remember, this is on top of your Atom staking rewards. So you're actually earning roughly 35 to almost 40% in APR on your Atom, and you're voting to direct liquidity to either of those applications. So that's cool. And also remember, there is an airdrops tab now, which shows you which airdrops are confirmed for Hydro depositors and which ones are rumored. So this is also very, very nice to see that we now have a new airdrop meta, which in coordination with what is going to be coming tomorrow, I think is going to be very, very interesting and a new path for Atom, right? That's what I said, phase 2, make Atom great again. Now, another big thing that is happening this week as well, very, very likely, at least it's imminent, is going to be the launch of Elys Network. In fact, Elys Network is already listed here on Forge, alongside also Comdex, which are consumer chain number 4 and 5 on the Cosmos Hub. Those are chains that are secured by Atom, similar to how parachains are secured by DOT in the Polkadot ecosystem. Now, switching gears to the rest of the gang, the rest of the IBC gang, the Cosmos ecosystem, we have one of the best compute AI GPU plays in all of crypto made in Cosmos, and that is, of course, Akash Network, AKT, one of my biggest positions in my liquid portfolio. And Hank made this amazing visualization about the daily network spend on Akash, which you can see here has been chilling at below $100. And then sometime late 2023, we see this first explosive growth to a couple $100 in daily spend. And then the real growth here in 2024. 2024 has really been a very explosive year of growth for Akash Network. And that is very strong product market fit for a non-DeFi use case, for a real world application basically that has real demand, real usage, and is actually going to be a market leader for that vertical, in my personal opinion, in the AI compute field. So Akash Network has to be in every portfolio, not only in Cosmos, but also in AI generally. Another strong contender that is around the corner is going to be Nillion, which is also Cosmos made. Nillion also, by the way, you saw it here on Hydro, is on the list for rumored airdrops for Hydro depositors. Would love to see Nillion also be more and more Atom aligned. And overall, all these projects be very, very Atom aligned, because that would really make also Cosmos culture great again, and the Atom culture. But Nillion is going to be merging AI with privacy as well, and also implements ZK technology on their blind computer. So Nillion, one of the biggest launches, next in line alongside Initia. Obviously, Bearchain is going to be big. Monad, which is non-Cosmos native, but also its own L1 that I have built from scratch. So we still have a lot of huge launches around the corner. Nillion, we also invested with Tokenomics. We're also going to be running a validator there, which is very good. And I think that's also going to do very, very well. Now, one news that I have to share with you is big and important updates about the airdrop, the mantra tokenomics, because JP now came out with an updated statement on what is moving him, what is going on. Because the airdrop was supposed to come out on Thanksgiving. So that was supposed to be the original plan, but now we still don't have an airdrop and the community is getting impatient. First off, very respectful, nice greeting. GM, BM, LM, MM for mad scientists, and newly SM Sherpa Morning. The Sherpa meme coin is also now in everyone's portfolio if you're a true cosmonaut. But yeah, JP, first things first, I think deserves a lot of credit for being a true leader, someone who is not afraid to also share his opinions or share feedback and share the things as they are. He's a very outspoken person. I've been knowing him for many years, actually since 2019, 2019. I've also been knowing Mr. FOMO for a very long time. Actually, Mr. FOMO has been one of my mentors on my crypto journey ever since I met him in 2018, and I got into crypto just a year before that. This was back in the days, Shanghai crypto community, Shanghai, China, where there was this huge expat community. So that's where I first met them, and that's also why I have a bit of a personal kind of relationship with these people. And while I'm not even holding any I'm not invested into the project, it's just amazing to see how committed they are and how far they came. Because the truth is also that a year and a half, 2 years ago, Mantra was pretty much dead. It was pretty much a dead project. It was ranked somehow on page 9 on CoinGecko, super low market cap, thin liquidity, no real engagement. RWA's tokenization was not really a big thing either, even though I know JP and the team, they have been preaching about security tokens, which is what RWAs were called before we had this new vertical now. They were called security tokens. That was the meta. And in 2018, everybody was saying that 2019 is going to be the year of security tokens. Well, it took a couple more years, but here we are. Mantra is now a top 50 coin and page 1 coin, multi-billion-dollar market cap, which is also why JP now came out and said, I might have to make a decision, which is basically, in the end of the day, also an on-chain proposal for the community to decide on, about revamping Tokenomics. Now, the TLDR, if you're now worried about your airdrop, the TLDR, what he's saying is that he's not going to propose a change in allocations for the airdrop, I guess, but it sounds like he might want to prolong or extend the vesting and emission schedules, and also maybe the inflation rate for the token. Right now, if you stake your you're getting around 19% APR. We are lined up with Cryptocito to also join the set, which is also a decision that needs to be taken, and the set needs to be expanded as well. But yeah, we're also waiting for that. At the same time, this post and thought that JP put out here is that he is going to propose a change, a revamp for the tokenomics within the next 2 weeks or before Christmas, so that the community has enough time also to provide feedback and also to be involved in the decision making, as it sounds like. Obviously, I'm just the messenger in that scenario. So it is now a $200 million airdrop. I think back then when they planned it, it was just a few $100,000, maybe like low single-digit millions. Now we're talking about $200 million. So I personally think they are considering to extend the vesting, which is not a popular move, I guess. But I think it's also about how you communicate those things. And that goes back to JP himself as a leader, as a founder, and just him being, open and transparent with the community. So read through that post, provide your feedback. If you have thoughts about the tokenomics, then share it under this post or even under the video. And yeah, I think we're going to also maybe get JP on the channel sometime to also answer your questions or have more news to share if there's more developments. Now, in the context of the big movement launch today, or the Move token launch, I should say, we also now have a new community rising, a new community culture being created, right? Right now, we have the Move token, which wave 1 got airdropped to some people. They already made some good money. Now the next move is going to be to build the culture around it. And that's where NFTs, meme coins, all these things come in. One of the meme coins that is going to be very interesting is the cute squirrel movement, because that one is created by Paco Legordo, who is also the creator, or one of the co-creators, I guess, with Celestine Sloth. So Celestine Sloth was developed actually by Zaki Manian, core developer, founder of Occlusion, also early cosmonaut. And Paco is working with him. And Paco is also managing the profile. He was also at Cosmos representing Celestine Sloth Society. Now they have this partnership with his new project, which is the Squirrel Movement, in movement colors, all in yellow, and they are now friends. So we might not only get an airdrop for the Move token for being Sloth, but also potentially a whitelist for that NFT collection, from what it sounds like it's going to be, which would be amazing. So I would not be mad about that. Next, sticking around airdrops, we have news from Mad Scientist, which is also, in my view, one of the NFT collections that you need to hold if you're a true cosmonaut. Bad Kids you need to have, Celestine Sloth you need to have a Mad Scientist, some Spice, some Sherpa, maybe now Squirrels as well, and also a Mad Scientist. Now, final reminder, tomorrow's the last day to claim your Saga airdrop. You have 1 day left. This is going to be a very nice Christmas present for you. And also remember to claim all the ecosystem airdrops that you're eligible for here. You can claim some NFTs, some other tokens, and also if you are a Saga ambassador, you can also claim your drop right there. Now, next week is not only going to be a big week for Cosmos, and tomorrow we have a big day, but also for crypto in general. So I reported about Microsoft having their shareholder meeting, or basically a decision about whether or not they're going to assess adding Bitcoin to their $500 billion balance sheet, or converting part of their balance sheet into Bitcoin.